Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. One of my viewers wanted some advice on a situation that they're having at their job. Now, this viewer says that they were in a workplace and one of their female coworkers caught their eye and they started to develop a crush on this female coworker. And as they developed a crush on this female coworker, they decided to go approach that female coworker and go out here and decided to let them know how they felt and stated their intentions. And when this female coworker blew them off, this is where the viewer came to me wanting to know what to do now. Now, when it comes to this viewer, I'm going to give them some advice that I put in my book and ebook, Stop Simpin' in the Workplace, in a chapter I called Don't Crap Where You Eat. Now, the statement, don't crap where you eat, is something that many grandparents and great-grandparents told your fathers and grandfathers, and that advice was to basically let most men know, do not get involved with the women at their job, because this is the place where you make your bread that you eat, and you really don't want to get involved with some crap with a woman that basically messes up your entire life. Now, ever since I was 18 years old and I saw the drama regarding the confirmation hearings of Judge Clarence Thomas, this is where I understood I needed us to set a boundary regarding the women in the workplace if I hope to be able to continue making a living and being able to buy the bread that would allow me to feed myself and take care of myself. And the boundary that I set ever since I was 18 years old, before I graduated high school, was to not ever consider any of the women at my job for any sort of dating or relationship, and to set that boundary because I did not want to mess up the place where I was making the money that would allow me to take care of myself. I didn't want to mess up that money by getting into some crap with some woman at the job, and that crap winding up jamming me up and basically could lead to me winding up losing my place where I made my living. Now, what this viewer did was make a major mistake because he had no men to go out here and give him some advice regarding the job market as related to going out here and making that approach of that woman at that job. That was a major mistake. And he was blessed that in this whole situation, when he made that mistake, this woman basically just blew him off. And as in that case, what he needs to do is charge this woman to the game, because this woman has basically let him know that she's not interested. And what dude needs to do is basically put a period at the end of this situation and start focusing on getting himself together and getting focused on his job. Now, when it comes to men, my advice is for a man to put himself first as related to this job, and your only focus as related to that job is going out here and doing the best work you can do at that job. One, going out here and looking to build up your finances as related to the money at that job. That means you don't be out here blowing your money, but looking to build on your money. And the next thing you want to do is basically, as you're at this job, focus on a goal as related to where you want to go in your career, and put yourself in the driver's seat and start taking the lead in your life, because there's more important things to focus on than the women at that job. No, there are far more important things than focusing on the women at that job, and your focus needs to be focused on taking care of your business and basically keeping it all about that job, and going out here and stacking your bread and counting your paper. That's your main focus when you're on these jobs. You don't want to be getting into it with any of these women on these jobs, especially in this era of Me Too, because in this era of Me Too, a woman like this that you go out here and approach on the job, what she can do is go out here and go down to the human resources department and make a claim of sexual harassment and use that claim to basically get you terminated, even though when it comes down to the federal laws regarding sexual harassment, it says it's supposed to be an unwanted and unwarranted advance. And again, she'll use that technicality as related things. Now, according to law, you can ask a woman out once and it's not a problem, but you don't really want to take that risk because, again, in this era of Me Too, all it takes is a simple allegation against you and you're basically out of a job. So that's why when you're on these jobs, you don't want to be going out here making any sort of approach of any woman on any of these jobs, because you have too much to lose. Because when it comes to a man, especially a heterosexual black man, you have basically everything to lose. If one of these women goes out and makes an allegation against you, you can wind up losing not only that job, but you could also lose your personal and professional reputation. And in some cases, especially with these white females, you could wind up losing your freedom, all based on an allegation of something you didn't even do. And that's why the smart man doesn't go out here and make any sort of move on any woman at this job. And that's something you have to go out here and set that boundary for, as related to your professional career, your personal reputation, because these intangibles are more valuable than the attention of any of these females on these jobs. And you have to think about how you're going to make a living, because in this gynocentric society, these women are going to get taken care of, but you've got to focus on who's going to take care of you. Critical question you've got to ask yourself: who's going to take care of you if this woman goes out here and makes a claim that costs you your reputation? So that's why you got to make sure your focus is on your job, and your focus is on your job. And again, you focus on making your paper and making your bread. That needs to be your primary focus on these jobs. Now, when it comes to a lot of guys, I've been in that same place where, yeah, you see a lot of fine women on these jobs. And yeah, some of them will even come up and talk to you. But the whole thing is you need to have a protocol for handling women at the job. And I've had this protocol ever since I was 18 years old. Before I even entered the job market, I had a protocol where I would maintain my professional distance with any of the women at that job. Yes, I would be polite. Yes, I would be kind. Yes, I would be friendly. But I understood that there was a boundary between myself and those women and maintain my professional distance. And yeah, I could feel a vibe from some of those women at those jobs, but I knew not to cross that line because it was very hard to get these jobs. And I know that you can wind up out of that job quicker than you think. You can get out of that job just like that, all because this woman is having a bad day or she's in her feelings. And that's why you don't want to go out here and get involved with women at the job, because when they get emotional, some of them become vindictive and take things personal, and you don't want to put your paper at risk by dealing with a woman like this. No, you don't want to put your paper at risk. So what you're going to do is understand that you don't need to mess with the women at that job. That's something workplace simps go out here and do, because workplace simps come from the perspective of single mothers and movies and TV shows, and believing, opportunities at relationships are scarce, so you got to go talk to the women at your job. Whereas men who understand how the world works understands that there are more women in this world than men, and opportunities at getting attention from women are basically everywhere. And if a man has his paper together, he can go out here and get the attention of women everywhere. That's something I've known ever since I was 18 years old. And that's why I strive to, again, get my paper right and get myself together. And when I had jobs, I was out here dressed up in nice clothes, had my hair done, and again, I knew that women were checking for me when they saw me coming to and from work, going to the bus or the train station. I knew that women were checking for me. So I know that if you get yourself together, again, you ain't going to have no problem with females at the job. And you're not even going to be concerned about some female at the job that you think that you have feelings for, because those women at the job, again, that you were thinking you're having feelings for, she's not really into you at all. And one thing you gotta remember when you're on these jobs, again, the females that you have a crush on, these are not, again, women who want to be your ally. No, they don't want to be your ally. They are competition. And again, when they're on this job with you, they see you as competition. And because they see you as competition and they see you getting feelings for them, they see an opportunity to go out here and eliminate their competition. And you can't go out here and give her that advantage, because if you give her that advantage, you're not going to be able to go out here and take care of yourself by being able to make a living at that job, build up your professional and personal reputation, develop contacts with different people and network, and find opportunities to build up yourself. You're not going to find them opportunities because you're giving your competition an advantage. And again, any woman who's on a job, and I'm going to repeat that once more because I know some people have a hard time processing that idea, that when you're on a job with these women, again, these women are your competition. And again, she's looking to get the same promotion you're trying to get. She's looking to advance up the same corporate ladder you're trying to advance. And when you go out here and put your feelings out there like that, what you're doing is giving that woman leverage, giving that woman an advantage over you, and basically showing yourself out the door and allowing her to be able to get up that corporate ladder at your expense. Because if she gets into a relationship with you, guess what? You're giving her an opportunity to go out here and make that claim of sexual harassment, or make that claim that this guy, again, is participating in behavior that can violate some corporate policies, because some corporate policies are about do not allow workers to fraternize. So you've got to go out here and, again, watch out for yourself when you're on these jobs. You got to watch out for yourself on these jobs, because again, these women who you're working with are not looking for love. They're looking to compete against you, because again, a lot of these women have been indoctrinated into feminism, and the feminist does not see a man as somebody who they want to follow the lead of, because most of these women, they want to be the boss over the man who are feminists. So you got to look out for yourself. And yeah, you may have feelings and crushes on females. And again, I've been where this dude is. There have been some women at my job that, again, I thought were cute. There were some women who would talk to me who I thought were kind of cool, but I understood that I needed to hold the line, and I needed to hold the line because, again, this is all about my future as related to being a professional. This is about me maintaining my personal and professional reputation. This is about me looking out for myself, because when it comes to these women, especially in this era of Me Too, these women will go out here and use any opportunity to get a man eliminated from the job market, because they want to advance at your expense. So you got to watch out for yourself at this job. Now, this possibly is a young brother who possibly made this mistake, but this is a mistake that's easily rectified, and I'm hoping it doesn't jam him up, because again, when you're on these jobs, according to federal law, you are allowed to possibly, again, ask somebody out. But once they say no, you charge them to the game. You don't say anything else. And if I'm out there, again, I don't say anything at all. But when it comes to females at your job, as a rule, understand any woman who's working at your job, whether she be looking like a movie star like Halle Berry in her prime or Sally Richardson in her prime, you basically don't see her as anybody you want to get with. They may be the finest, sexiest woman on that job, looking real good, but you got to learn to see and not see, and hear and not hear. You got to learn that skill. That's something I learned as related to these jobs, to see how fine these women are and not see them, and again, be indifferent to them. This is a skill that a male life skill a man has to learn in the presence of beautiful women, is to become indifferent. And when it comes to women at your job, you want to be indifferent to those women. You don't want to be out here being emotional, because again, these women, they are very tactical, and they again see you going out here checking her out, and they see an advantage for themselves to again advance at your expense. And if you go out here and get in your feelings about that woman at that job who's competing against you, she's going to see that as you coming from a position of weakness. And if you're coming from that position of weakness, she's going to play as related to that role to get the upper hand on you on that job. So when you're on this job, again, when these women are out here, you ain't checking for none of them. No, the only thing you want from that job is to get your paycheck, get your bread, get your paper, and that's all you want at the end of the day from this job. And after you get this paper, what you want to do is focus on where you want to go. Where do you want to go when you're at this job? What goals do you want to accomplish? What experience do you want to get from this job? What skills do you want to acquire? These are the things you need to focus on as you put yourself first. As you put in yourself first, you want to focus on where you want to go in the direction of your life as you're leading, as God is leading you, and you are taking the lead in your life. And as you take the lead in your life, what you want to do is, again, focus on where you want to go, because women who are fine and attractive will want to follow a man who is taking the lead in his life. And there you're going to find a quality woman who's going to want to be a helpmeet that helps meet your needs, and a woman who basically wants to follow your lead. That's what you're going to go out here and find when you get out here and take the lead in your life. Because when you go out here and take the lead in your life, you ain't thinking about the females at your job, because the guy who's chasing women at the job is following women, and those women are going to lead to him basically winding up in HR, and then eventually with security guards escorting them out of the building and having the hardest of hard times to find that next job. And you don't want that to be you. So again, I'm giving this viewer some advice. Yeah, you got to be able to navigate through your emotions, like the late David Carroll had said in many of his videos. And again, that means, yeah, you can have the feelings, but you don't act on the feelings. And you don't act on the feelings because you have too much to lose, and you don't want to be tempted. And again, like I talk about my novel Temptation of John Haynes, you don't want to be tempted by these women, because again, that temptation can lead to a compromise that can cost you everything. And again, you want to look out for yourself. And I wanted to give this viewer that advice. And the other advice I want to give them is to pick up my book, Stop Simpin' in the Workplace, and because that book is going to help him as related to the job. Now, this viewer, I think, is a guy who picked up my book, Stop Simpin', Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. Now, he wanted me to make some videos about simps, and I didn't mean to be hard on the brother, but when it comes to videos, again, I have a policy as related to request. Again, I don't work for free, and again, these videos take time out of my day, time that I usually have for myself, but I take this time out for viewers because I want to help them out. And I apologize again for being a little brusque as related to things, but I run into a lot of people who request videos and again don't want to pay because they don't understand that time is money. And again, your time is money, and again, I value your time that you watch my videos, but I also value you as a person, and I don't want to see you get jammed up. That's why I write books like Stop Simpin' in the Workplace and make workplace videos. I don't want to see you get jammed up. So when, yeah, you may have feelings for women at the job. Again, I have been there at different jobs where, yeah, there were some fine women, and even some cases they would even give me their phone numbers. But I understood, again, that there is a boundary, and again, you've got to watch yourself out here because, again, when you're a man, the only person who's going to take care of you is you, and you don't want to go out here and do things that mess up your business. And one of the things that can mess up your business is getting involved with females at your job. Now, if you want to learn why you don't mess with women at your job and learn how to identify female workplace predators and some of the male workplace predators, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, at Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in the Workplace at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to request a video like this viewer did, you can send a donation for a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available for the first time in paperback, Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.